The desert was silent except for the soft hum of Leo's rover engine. He was a human engineer sent by the Earth Alliance to check signal towers on remote planets. This world, called Valora 3, was mostly empty. Just red sand, tall rocky cliffs, and nothing else. But Leo liked the quiet. No bosses, no noise. Only machines, problems to solve, and his tools. It was on his third day there that he saw something strange. A black shape in the distance. Not natural. As he drove closer, he saw the shape was a crashed spaceship. Its surface was cracked, smoke rose from the side, and one wing was buried deep in the sand. It had clearly fallen from the sky not long. Leo parked his rover and grabbed his scanner. The readings were strange, alien technology, very advanced. Carefully, he stepped closer and called out, "Hello? Anyone inside?" No answer. He touched the ship's side. The metal was still warm. A weak light blinked near a broken door. Leo followed it and slowly opened the hatch. Inside, the ship was dim. He walked through a narrow hallway filled with sparks and flickering lights. Then he saw them. Two figures lay on the floor, breathing, but barely moving. They looked like women, but clearly not human. Their skin was pale blue with a soft purple tone. Their ears were small and pointed. Long hair flowed down their shoulders. One had silver hair, the other had deep navy blue. They wore strange suits that were torn and dirty. Their faces were bruised and they looked weak. Leo dropped to one knee. "Hey, can you hear me?" The one with silver hair opened her eyes slightly and tried to speak, but her voice was dry. The other one groaned in pain. Leo opened his pack, took out a water bottle and gently gave them small sips. "You're safe now," he said softly. "I'll help you." He couldn't carry both at once, so he helped one at a time to his rover. He wrapped them in blankets and placed them in the backseat. Then he drove to a nearby cave he had used as shelter. That night, Leo set up a heater, gave them more water, and cooked simple food from his supplies. The twins slowly began to recover. The silver-haired one introduced herself first. "My name is Sira," she whispered. Her sister added, "I'm Nara, thank you. Human." Leo smiled. "Name's Leo. I fix things. Looks like you two had a rough landing." Sira nodded. "We were escaping. Our ship was hit. We didn't expect to survive." "Well, you did," Leo replied. "And you're lucky I was nearby." Nara gave a weak smile. "Are all humans like you?" Leo chuckled. "Not really. Most wouldn't be out here in the middle of nowhere." The twins rested as Leo began checking the damage on their ship. It was worse than he thought. Multiple systems were fried, and the main power core was cracked. But the tech was amazing. Part machine, part living metal. He had never seen anything like it. Still, he felt excited. Fixing this ship would be a real challenge. As the sun set behind the dunes, the two alien sisters sat beside the fire, watching Leo work. They spoke quietly in their own language. Sira looked serious. Nara kept glancing at Leo with a curious smile. They had no idea who this human really was. But one thing was already clear. They weren't going to let him leave so easily. The next morning, the sun rose slowly over the dunes, casting long shadows across the sand. Leo was already awake, kneeling beside the alien ship. He had opened a panel near the back and was carefully checking wires and circuits. The ship's design was unlike anything he had studied. Some parts looked mechanical, while others seemed to grow like roots or veins. It was alive in some way, and broken. Sira walked up behind him quietly, watching. She still looked tired, but her eyes were clear now. "You understand our ship?" she asked softly. Leo didn't turn around. "Not all of it, but I know enough. I can fix what's broken. Maybe not perfect, but enough to fly." Sira nodded slowly. "That's more than we hoped for." Just then, Nara appeared, holding a cup. "I made something warm from your food rations. Not sure if it tastes good." Leo took the cup, smiled, and took a sip. "Not bad." Nara grinned. Better than the sand soup we almost had. The three of them laughed gently. It was the first time since the crash that any of them felt light. Later that day, the twins helped Leo carry tools and scan systems. Sierra was focused and serious, always asking questions and pointing out strange parts of the ship. Nara, on the other hand, was playful, always finding ways to tease Leo or ask about Earth. "Is it true humans live in floating cities?" she asked. "No," Leo replied, tightening a bolt. "Not yet. Maybe in 100 years. Do all human engineers talk so much when they work?" Leo smirked. "Only the smart ones." As the hours passed, they began working like a team. The twins started trusting Leo, not just because he saved them, but because he listened. He never acted like he was better. He treated them like equals. That night, they sat around the fire again. The stars above them were bright and endless. Nara leaned back and pointed to a group of stars. "That's our home," she said. "The planet of lice area. We left it because we didn't belong." Sierra looked down. "Our people believe in control, in power. We wanted something else. We wanted freedom." Leo was quiet for a moment, then said, "Sounds like you were brave to leave." Sierra looked at him. "We're not brave. We were scared. But we couldn't live their way anymore." "You made a choice," Leo said. "That takes courage." The twins shared a look. Something silent passed between them. Then Nara spoke again. "Leo, you could have walked away." "Why didn't you?" He shrugged. "I fix broken things, that's what I do." "But you stayed for more than that," she said quietly. Leo didn't answer. He just stared into the fire. In truth, he didn't know why he stayed. At first, it was curiosity. Then, it became something else. He felt connected to the ship, to their story, and to them. He felt like he was needed here more than anywhere else. The flames danced. The desert wind blew softly. Sierra stood up and gently placed her hand on Leo's shoulder. "Whatever your reason," she said, "we're glad you stayed." Nara leaned closer with a playful smile. "And we're not letting you go so easily." Leo smiled too, but in his heart, he felt something new growing, something warm, strange, and deep. He was beginning to understand. This wasn't just about a ship anymore. The next morning, Leo stepped inside the alien ship with his flashlight in hand. He had repaired the outer hull, restored part of the ship's energy, and was now exploring deeper. Sierra and Nara followed closely behind him, their steps cautious, on the dark metal floor. "There's a section I couldn't open before," Leo said. "But with the power restored, the doors are working again." He stopped in front of a sealed door deep inside the ship. It had strange markings on it, curved, symbols glowing faintly. Sierra looked surprised. "I've never seen this room before," she said. "It wasn't in our training," Nara added. "We thought the ship had only 3 main chambers." Leo raised an eyebrow. "Well, looks like your ship has secrets." With a small push, the door slid open, revealing a narrow room filled with soft light. In the center was a crystal, tall and glowing faintly like a heartbeat. It floated above a platform surrounded by curved panels and alien symbols. "What is that?" Leo asked, walking slowly around it. Sierra stepped forward, eyes wide. "It's the core, but different. This must be the true source of the ship's energy." Nara moved closer too. "It's alive. I can feel it." Leo scanned it with his device, but the readings didn't make sense. It wasn't just a power source. It was something more. It reacted to movement, to sound, even to thought. Suddenly, the crystal pulsed and a soft voice filled the room. It wasn't in any language Leo knew, but the ship translated it. "Warning, emergency beacon active, hostiles in range, shields offline." Sierra and Nara gasped. "It sent out a signal," Sierra said. "They might be coming." "Who?" Leo asked. "Our pursuers," Nara whispered. "The ones we escaped from." Leo quickly moved to the controls. "I need to shut it down. If they track that signal, we're in trouble." Working fast, he managed to silence the beacon, but the alert remained. The system had already sent a message, Someone might already be on their way. Outside the room, they returned to the main control deck. Leo began patching communication wires and recharging shield systems. His hands moved quickly, but his mind was racing. He looked at Sira and Nara. "You didn't tell me everything, did you?" Sira nodded slowly. "No, we didn't," Nara added. "We didn't know if we could trust you, but now we do." They sat down together and Sira finally told the truth. "We're not just travelers. We're daughters of a noble family, part of a ruling house on Lysaria. But we refused to follow their path. They wanted to use our minds for control, for war. We ran away. Our own people called us traitors," Nara said quietly. "We've been running ever since." Leo listened in silence. It all made sense. Now the advanced ship, the powerful core, the fear in their eyes. They weren't just lost, they were being hunted. Leo stood up. "Well, I don't care about your past. All I know is you needed help, and I was here. And I'm not going anywhere, until this ship flies again." Sira looked at him, her voice soft. "Even if it puts you in danger?" Leo smiled. "Fixing things is what I do, and protecting people who need help, that's just part of the job." Nara leaned closer. "You really are strange, for a human." They all laughed, but behind their smiles was worry. Someone had heard the signal. Time was running out. The desert wind howled outside the cave, but inside the ship Leo worked with focus. Sweat rolled down his forehead as he tightened wires and adjusted glowing panels. The power systems were slowly returning. Lights flickered back to life, and the air inside the ship became easier to breathe. Progress was happening, but the clock was ticking. The message from the core still echoed in Leo's mind. Hostiles in range. He couldn't shake the feeling that someone, or something, was coming. Sira stood by his side, helping him carefully fix a damaged console. "The shields are still offline," she said. "If they find us now, we'll have no protection." Nara was near the entrance, scanning the horizon with a small alien device. She suddenly turned and called out, "Leo, there's movement near the canyon." Leo rushed to her side and looked through his own scope. A small black object floated in the sky just above the cliffs. It was a drone, fast and silent. Not from Earth, not friendly. "They found us," Leo muttered. "And that's just the scout." Nara's face grew tense. "If they sent a drone, the ships won't be far behind. We need time," Sira said. "But we don't have it." Leo ran back to his rover and pulled out spare parts, wires, and his emergency toolkit. He worked quickly, building something outside the ship using junk metal and small power cells. The twins watched him with confusion. "What are you making?" Nara asked. "A decoy," Leo replied. "I'll use it to draw the drone away, make them think we moved east." Sira stepped forward. "But that's dangerous. If they see you..." Leo looked up and smiled. "I've been fixing things my whole life, but I'm also good at building distractions." With Nara's help, he set the decoy on a dune and attached a flare signal to it. It looked like a half-buried escape pod with heat, signatures, and energy readings. Then Leo activated it. Within minutes, the drone changed direction and moved toward the fake signal. "It's working," Nara said in disbelief. "For now," Leo answered. "That'll only buy us a few hours." Back at the ship, the team worked, together. Sira repaired the shield circuits while Leo focused on restoring the navigation system. Nara kept watch outside, her eyes never leaving the horizon. As night fell, the wind grew stronger. The stars above blinked silently, unaware of the danger below. Inside the ship, Leo connected the last power line to the shield generator. The console blinked green. "Shields are back," he said. "At minimum strength, but it's something." Sira touched his shoulder. "Thank you. You've done more than we ever expected." He looked at her, then at Nara, who had just entered. "I made a promise," Leo said. "I'm going to see it through." The room fell silent. The bond between them had grown strong. It was no longer just about survival or repairs. It was about trust, about care. But before they could say more, The ship's sensors beeped. Nara checked the screen. Her voice dropped. 2 ships entering atmosphere, they're here. Sierra looked at Leo. We're out of time. Leo stood tall. Then we get ready. The final battle hadn't started yet, but the pieces were moving. The human, the alien sisters, and 1 broken ship were all that stood between freedom and capture. The night would decide what came next. The sky above the desert had changed. 2 black ships moved quietly through the air like shadows hunting in the dark. They made no noise, but Leo could feel the pressure in the air. The hunters had arrived. Inside the alien ship, Leo, Sierra, and Nara worked quickly. The shields were up and half the systems were running, but the engines, the most important part, were still down. Leo stood over the engine core, sweat on his face and dirt on his hands. Sparks flew as he connected 2 power lines. Almost there, he said, his voice tight. This engine is a beast. Sierra handed him a glowing tool. It needs balance between the 3 coils. The energy must flow evenly. Leo nodded. I understand now. It's like tuning a musical instrument. Nara stood by the ship's scanner, watching the hunter ships come closer. They're landing 5 kilometers away, she said. They'll be here soon. Leo turned to her. How many soldiers? Too many for us, Nara said. They always come in groups. Strong, fast, and armed. Sierra stepped forward. We can't fight them, we have to fly, that's our only hope. Leo agreed. He focused harder, fixing the last energy converter and checking the coolant flow. The ship's engine gave a soft hum. The lights turned bright. It's alive, Leo said, smiling. Just 1 more restart and we can lift off. Suddenly the alarm buzzed. A small device outside the ship, a motion sensor, was triggered. They're coming on foot, Nara said. They found the cave. Sierra looked at Leo. You need to go. Take your rover and escape. You've done enough. Leo shook his head. Not leaving. I came this far and I'm staying. Nara stared at him. You'll die if they catch you. You're human. They won't show mercy. Leo replied calmly. Then we better make sure they don't catch me. He opened a box of supplies, small power cells, wires, and leftover parts. In minutes, he made simple traps, shock pads, sound bombs, and flares. With Sierra and Nara's help, they placed the traps at the cave's entrance and along the narrow paths. By the time the enemies arrived, everything was ready. The first blast echoed through the rocks as a flare blinded the hunters. Then a shock pad exploded, throwing 2 of them to the ground. The rest slowed down, careful now. Inside the ship, Leo sat at the main console. Engine is ready, he said. Sierra checked the controls. Navigation systems are online. Nara ran in, breathing fast. Traps bought us time, but they'll break through in minutes. Leo looked at the screen. Then let's fly. The ship shook as its engines came alive. Dust and sand blasted into the air. The hunters ran toward the ship, weapons in hand, but it was too late. The ship rose above, the dunes shaking off years of damage and pain. For a moment it hovered in the air, then shot into the sky. Sierra looked at Leo with wide eyes. You did it. Nara smiled brightly. You really fixed it. I can't believe it. Leo leaned back in his seat, breathing hard. Told you. I fixed things. Below them, the hunters fired in anger, but their shots missed. The ship was too fast now. For the first time, the twins were truly free. And Leo realized something important. He didn't just repair a ship. He gave them hope. The ship moved through the clouds, smooth and fast. For the first time since their crash, the alien twins were no longer afraid. But inside the control room, the tension hadn't fully left. Sierra checked the systems again and again. Nara looked back through the ship's viewing screen at the shrinking desert below. Leo sat quietly, catching his breath. His hands were dirty, his body tired, but his mind was still alert. How far can we go with the fuel left? He asked. Sierra looked at the energy levels. Not far. We need to find a safe place to hide and recharge. There's a moon nearby, Nara said. Mostly empty. We can land there. Leo nodded. Good. We'll fix whatever's left once. We land. But the calm didn't last. A red light blinked on the console. Sierra leaned in. Tracking signal detected. One of their ships is following us. Leo stood up. How? I thought we left them behind. Nara's face turned serious. One of their ships is faster than the others. A special kind used only to chase important targets. Sierra added, they really don't want us to get away. Leo looked at both sisters. Then we don't let them catch us. The ship changed course and moved toward the nearby moon. But the enemy ship was gaining fast. Soon the chase became intense. The alien ship shook as the enemy fired warning shots. We can't outrun them, Nara said. We don't have to, Leo said. We can stop and fight. Smartly. Sierra looked at him. You want to face them? Leo smiled. I've already fixed the engines, the shields, and the weapons. Let's see if they work. The ship reached the moon's surface and landed, behind a group of tall rocks. It was quiet and dusty, the perfect place to hide. Leo and the twins prepared the defense systems. As the enemy ship landed, its soldiers began to spread out. Tall, strong aliens with heavy armor and strange weapons walked toward them. Leo activated a new trap he had set. A blast of light and sound hit the first wave of soldiers, confusing them. Then the ship's defense beams fired. Sierra controlled them with sharp focus. Nara ran through the ship, tossing small shock devices through hidden doors. Leo stayed at the control panel, managing the shields and helping the twins. He had never been in a battle like this, but he stayed calm. Every second counted. The battle was fast but intense. The enemy didn't expect the ship to be repaired. They thought the twins were weak, but they were wrong. Sierra and Nara fought bravely. They knew their ship better than anyone. With Leo's help, they used every system, every trick, every tool. Finally, the last enemy ship took off in retreat. The remaining soldiers were knocked out or trapped. Inside the ship, the alarms went silent. The screen showed no more danger. We did it, Nara said, her voice shaking with relief. Sierra sat down beside Leo. It's over. We're safe. Leo leaned back, breathing deeply. That was intense. Nara laughed softly. You should have told us you were a fighter too. Leo smiled. I'm just an engineer. I fix things, remember? Sierra looked at him, eyes soft. You fixed more than a ship. You gave us a chance, a future. Nara added, and now that you're with us, we're not letting you go. Leo looked at them both, surprised but speechless. For once, he didn't have an answer. Maybe he didn't want one. The stars stretched out before them, bright and endless. The alien ship moved smoothly through space, leaving behind the lonely moon and the desert planet. Inside the control room, Leo sat quietly, staring at the stars beyond the window. Beside him, Sierra and Nara watched him closely. For days, the three had been together, sharing stories, fears, and hopes. The twins had become more than passengers. They were companions. And Leo? He was no longer just an engineer fixing a broken ship. Nara broke the silence first. Leo, what will you do now? He looked at her and then at Sierra. I don't know. I never thought I'd be here. Fixing an alien ship, fighting hunters, flying through space with two sisters I barely knew. Sierra smiled softly. And yet, you stayed. Leo nodded. I stayed because I had to, because I wanted to. But now, what is my path? Nara moved closer, her violet blue eyes shining. You don't have to decide alone. We want you with us, not just as our engineer, but as part of our family. Leo's heart beat faster. He hadn't expected this. He felt something warm grow. Inside, a feeling he couldn't name before. I'm just a human, he said quietly. I don't belong in your world. Sierra shook her head gently. You belong wherever you choose. You belong with us. Nara smiled brightly. And we won't let you go. Leo looked out the window again. The stars seemed to call him forward into the unknown. The chance for a new life, new adventures, new friendships. a place where he mattered. After a moment, he stood up. I think I'm ready. Ready to face whatever comes next with you. Sira reached for his hand. Nara took the other. The three of them stood together, ready for the journey ahead. The ship's engines hummed steadily. Ahead, new worlds awaited. Leo realized something simple but powerful. Sometimes, the greatest repairs were not of machines but of hearts, and sometimes family was found in the most unexpected places.